How's it going, Gemini? This is your reading, and happy birthday, by the way. This is your reading for June 2017. My name is Dre. I already laid out the cards in the interest of saving time. So I will show you the cards and get started. We have the World in reverse. We have the Empress. I'm using Tarot of the Holy Light. Here's the box. I love this deck. We have the Star, the Chariot, which in this deck is ruled by Gemini, the Eight of Swords, Five of Discs, Knight of Cups in reverse, Nine of Swords in reverse, Four of Swords. As the outcome, we have the Devil. And as an additional card, we have the Tower. In this deck, the Tower of Destruction, but who wants to hear that? Okay, so I was looking at your last video. I took time to actually look at these cards and look at the planets where they are right now. So I feel like, like I said in the last video, because the sun was in your 12th house during Taurus season, a lot of things you were probably feeling like a lot of things were either out of your control or things were just, but all of that uncertainty was just a means, it was just a method for you guys to understand what actually, the issues that need to be highlighted, the things that you can feel sort of confident going forward into Gemini season to actually tackle, the things that you feel like you could actually handle. We had a couple of tens, we had the Ten of Wands and we had the Ten of Cups. So there is something that, a total I'm thinking of wish fulfillment, sort of like total unburdening realization that you had to really come into or recognize. And it was heavy because there was that Five of Cups too. So it was just like there were emotional things that needed to be sort of dealt with, looked at. And I feel like for some of you here now looking at these cards, that issue is coming to a head. The issue that you weren't willing to address, I feel like is now, it's more evident. It's easier to see. When we have the Devil, anytime I see the Devil, especially the Devil in the Tower, it's unignorable. It's something that demands our immediate attention, something that demands we address it right away. And we also have a few major arcana. We have the World in reverse, and we have the Star, and we have the Chariot, and the Empress. So it's just, this is a huge moment of your life, Gemini. With regards to, if we look at the sky, Saturn is across from you guys in Sagittarius. Let's see, we have Venus is about to move into Taurus. We have Mars just left Gemini. So especially when Mars was a Gemini for like most of last month, if not all of last month, I forgot when it exactly moved into Gemini. You guys were... Things were tough. You were probably on the defense or on the offense a lot of the times, really being forced to assert yourself, being forced to assert your thoughts, your actions. I feel like people were giving you a hard time and you were under a lot of pressure and under a lot of scrutiny, especially if you guys are if you work in government, or if you have for some of you, your parents are probably just, especially a father figure was just, probably a little bit too much to handle. Some of you graduated, some of you are going to school. So it's just that, trying to get all your ducks in a row, having to really fight against the tide, even though things are kind of difficult. And that's what the Eight of Swords is. And the fact that it's upright in this deck is a good thing because it's showing that you're using your expert. It's showing that it's important to always just stay clear-sighted, to always stay motivated, to not get too discouraged. And the fact that it's surrounded by the chariot and the five discs, I feel like there's this aspect of your life wherein either, for some of you, again, I always see love. If some of you, you're just in a relationship with somebody you have to understand that you've probably given more to this person than they deserve, or you're taking more than what you need. Either way, there's this imbalance. There's this wariness here. And if it's not that, I feel like just in general, for a lot of you, you're trying to get to this point of realization, to this point of healing, because it's like your highest dreams have yet been fulfilled, because there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of real shit that needs to be addressed. There's something that either you're in a codependent relationship, you have unhealthy habits, or, your life is just changing all around you. It's just like, you've gotten a new job, or you've gotten a new job, so what do you do now? You've graduated, so what do you do with that next? It's just that there's so much uncertainty here. And it's always important, especially now for some of you, if the sun is moving, if this is your solar return, if you were June Gemini, especially now where it's just you have to recognize that there are things that you need to hone in on. There are things that you need to focus on. In Gemini, that energy is very scattered. And that's a good thing about Gemini, and it's a con. With every sign, there's, the good thing can also be a bad thing. Not really a bad thing, but, there's pros and cons to everything. So it's like your desire to, be everything to everybody, to be everywhere at all times, to do as much as possible, to really be out there. I feel like it's limiting you in a lot of other ways, to where you're probably, again, you're stretching yourself too far. You're not there has to be balance. With the Chariot card, it's all about being able to maintain all aspects of our life in harmony. Family, friends, love, work, career, health, all of that. It's all, it all complements each other. They all have to work together in order for us to be able to be mobile and to be able to assert our lives in whatever direction we want to. We're not getting anywhere if our car is not good, if the car is not tuned up, if we haven't, taken care of it properly. It's that sort of thing. In order for us to get to where we need to go, we have to take care of where we're at. And so I feel like for a lot of you, that's going to be a very delicate balancing act. But the thing you have to understand is that whatever sort of trials, whatever sort of struggles that you are, coming into contact with on a day-to-day basis, it's, your grand plan is so much bigger than that. Where you're going, what your dream is, what your goal is, what your desire is so much more than, any minor inconvenience. It's bigger than any man. It's bigger than any woman. It's bigger than, people that are sort of, you feel like are pressuring you on any side of you. It's something that you have to sort of come into focus and understand about yourself where you're wrong. And I feel like the only way that this Nine of Swords is going to be able to be of any benefit, because the Nine of Swords is always us selfishly holding on to fears, thought patterns, behaviors, simply because, we don't want to face the truth. We don't want, we'd rather, it's an extremely petty card. I've sort of, come to realize where it's like we're doing vengeful things, out of spite. This is just an example. If somebody, ditched us or left us or whatever, or if a friend's talking crap about us behind our back, it's us being upset that even happened, that process is going on. But yet at the same time, we're bad talking them to everybody, and we're, running their name into the dirt or whatever, because we don't want to face the fact that, we might have lost a friend, or we might have lost a partner, or a loved one, because we're just so consumed with feeding into that anxiety and feeding into that fear, and not allowing ourselves to actually just feel sad and just be like, you know what, something is over. It's over. It's done. So why should I keep, but that's just a natural process. We get to that naturally. And with the reverse, I feel like that's something that you're going to have to see eventually, because we have the Tower and we have the Devil. So it's just that, There's some here that's not going to work. That's not working at all. Whether it's a home life, whether it's a love relationship, it's something that really needs to be addressed. But I also feel like for a lot of you, it's important to not lose hope, to not lose faith, because your dream, whatever it is with the world in reverse, seems so far away. Like your dream of traveling, or your dream of seeing the world, or your dream of getting a promotion, or moving, or whatever. Like whatever is your biggest goal, it seems like it's so far away right now, but it's not impossible. So it's just important to understand that within this process, you're undergoing a process of healing yourself, of coming into your own. It's important to always keep this in the forefront of your mind, that you are becoming, or you're not becoming anybody. You're just stripping away all of the artifice to get to the truest, barest nature of yourself. And in that is going to create fruition, abundance. It's going to create success if you just allow yourself the patience, because the Empress is an earth energy. It's ruled by Venus in this deck. So it's all about diplomacy, waiting your turn, because again, with Mars being in Gemini, that's the last thing we want to do, right? Is to be harmonious or listen to other people's sides, or because we've been so eager and so amped up to sort of do our own thing, get our own thing going, that we've sort of lost the ability to be patient. We've also, because, the star in this deck is ruled by Mercury, we've also lost, our ability to just, shut our ears off and just, well, not shut our ears off, but to just listen, to just take in information, which is what Gemini is good at. Taking in information, taking in hints, taking in clues. And so the last card here at the bottom is the Four of Swords. So be self-preserving. All of this is important. Like your self-preservation, understanding what works for you and where your limits are and where other people's boundaries should be, is going to be so important, because, excuse me, when it comes to actually trying to put ourselves out into the world, a lot of us use that as like a defense mechanism. If we're super assertive or super arrogant, it's more like a defense mechanism. Or if we're, some people use anger. Some people just use happiness as a defense mechanism easily, because it's easier to be more easygoing with people than to actually, cause conflict. But I feel like conflict and, aggression and power struggles and just, incompatibility, that just comes with everything that we do. And so you have to understand that a part of you needs to not be afraid to withdraw. Like I said in that last reading, not be afraid to sort of understand when you've had enough, when it's time for you to just sort of steal away and sort of, this is a very private energy, the Four of Swords. So I feel like for a lot of you, if you're not working on a project, or if, you're not sick, use this time to actually sort of come back into yourself, with people that are close to you, people that can sort of view you in a different way than you see yourself, because there are bigger things around you. I feel like that you guys really need to talk to. Four of Swords, I also see as heart-to-heart conversations where there's somebody here, or there's something here that's just not working, that you just need to talk about, you need to get off your chest. So yeah, Gemini, just be clear-headed, be focused. I'm not saying that you guys are on a terrible path. The path is rocky and it's dangerous, but I really see you guys as trying to be, it's important to just be admirable. It's important to be noble. It's important to be the truest version of yourself going forward. A part of yourself that you're not afraid to let the world see. A part of yourself that you're not ashamed to let the world see. And again, I see that with the Four of Swords too. And the Star, just living in your own truth and just being free. Okay, so thank you so much for that, Gemini. Happy birthday once again, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.